The Davis family, I think, is rich because of. Remember, he didn't come from money. Like, wasn't I don't remember what the fuck Al Davis did, but he wasn't.
He ended up owning a team. Yeah,
like he's the one family. Because remember, they always talk about them being broke, where they can barely make payroll.
He wasn't in business before. He was a coach.
Yeah, wasn't he in football? Like he was.
Yeah.
Their money is football, and that's why they've had. And now they're probably fine now because they're in fucking Vegas.
Oh no, Mark Davis. The fact that he could walk around with that goofy haircut. It's like, hey, Buster Brown, man, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Do you think he's like Bob Keesha, Captain Kangaroo? Exactly. Those are the only two people ever that wore that haircut. We're proud of it, right? I mean, Mark Davis, he is living the dream. This guy, he's got babes. He owns the Las Vegas Raiders, but he seems like, honestly, I saw a feature on him on 60 Minutes. And, maybe everybody looks and goes, holy shit, how did that fat fuck get so rich? I mean, Heritage seemed like somebody that would be interesting to talk to because on the surface of observing this guy, he seems like somebody that understands how fucking lucky he was to be in that position.
Time! Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Nothing like the inheritance business, right? Lubie business. Right. Okay. Hey, welcome to the show. Good to have you guys with us. We have a lot to do on the program today. We will get into a little trivia challenge for you trivia fanatics out there. That includes the usual suspects, of course. Also eligible would be anybody else that would like to play the game. We always welcome new blood, fresh, new fish into the game.
Yeah, like at Oz.
Were you a fan, of Oz? What were you?
Between you and other people, I've heard how great of a show it was.
It was really a good show. It really was. A little dark, but
whatever.
It was very dark.
I've watched a lot of dark.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I mean, it was interesting and it was well presented through a narration of one of the inmates. But wow, I mean, a lot of shit happened there that made you think. Last place I want to be is prison.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be it. I mean, that would be one reason not to storm the Capitol building because you might end up in jail. Although all these guys are going to get out, right? They'll be on day one
free.
January 20th is going to be one of the most interesting days in American history, without question. I mean, not only is a guy who just was sentenced in a New York courtroom found guilty of 34 felonies, which I don't know. What did you of all the cases against Donald Trump? I know it was legitimate. In some ways, I mean, look, he forged the documents, he paid off the woman, but it was, in my opinion anyway, the least significant of any of the stuff that he did, right? I mean, I don't know. What is your thought on that? Because they kind of stretched it and made it into a political thing where, okay, he forged the documents, whatever, he was well aware of it, he knew where the money was going. We all know that the story was that he didn't want this to become public, that he was banging some stripper, porn star, Stormy Daniels.
Yep.
And that Melania also must be completely blind, like everybody else that's supporting this guy, to all of the atrocities and all of the different things that he's done in a criminal nature and or just devoid of any morality whatsoever. I mean, you're banging a woman you just met at a golf tournament in Lake Tahoe because she has she's well endowed. I mean, would that not have been the attraction there? He later said that she was too ugly for him to even consider, even though we all know that he did it, right?
100%.
The best part of that story wasn't even the convictions or any of that. It was Stormy Daniels coming out and saying, I couldn't find it with a search warrant. Marco Rubio, who's now going to be the Secretary of fucking State. Can you believe this? This is a man that 4 years ago was standing on a stage with Donald Trump, and Trump is implying that he's got a small penis in an effort to win a debate.
Look,
how do you make this stuff up? Where's George Orwell when you really need him?
My thing is, and quite often when it's the biggest criminals, Al Capone didn't get put away for hits or bribes or any of those things.
It was tax.
He got put away for something that was probably a stretch. They probably had it for years and get him on the real shit and then said, fuck it. We're never getting him on this stuff. Yeah. Let's get him on this. That's how the big criminals, you rare. Look, I know they got Gotti on some stuff, but even Gotti wasn't it similar. Like these guys cover their tracks when even an idiot like Trump, he makes sure everyone else goes down. He's decent. I don't know about good because
where is he? Helping out his right hand man there for a long time, Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, whatever.
Rudy's having to, go through closets of some place he owns in St. Petersburg to find his Yankees World Series ring to give it to these people that he defamed, saying that they rigged the election. And he's just spinning in the wind, is he not? I mean, he's a wreck. He was the number one defender of old Donnie Trump. He let Michael Cohen go to prison.
Well, that's the other thing is when new people join in, like a JD Vance and all these cabinet people. Like, don't you look at it's not only he's just sucky for this country and he's a horrible human being, but he doesn't take care of the people that take care of him either. Like, usually, at least these guys, it's family. You're made. Like, one of us goes down, we all, like, no, it's me, only me. I don't give a fuck about you.
It's Sorvino time. Now I got to turn my back on you, right? You give him $3,200 and say, hey, listen, Harry, go find something else to do. I mean, we don't want to get too into that, but the reason I'm excited, we're what is it, the 9th? We're 11 days away from everything changing for the better, which I can't wait. I can't wait. I paid $5.60 for eggs. I can't wait to get back to like $2.99. I know that's going to happen that day. All of these problems that existed in the world are all going to disappear. We're going to incorporate Greenland and Canada will become part of the United States. The Atlantic Ocean will be renamed. I mean, everything is going to happen all on the 20th because what was the consistent mantra of when Donald Trump and all of the MAGA-ites was, hey, everything changes on day one. We're going to see that right from day one. We're running right out of shoot. Plus, any illegal immigrant, I mean, they're just going to be busing them right off the farms and into Mexico.
Yeah, but it's like it is interesting that ever since he won the election,
nothing's happening. Yeah, there's no talk of the economy or anything.
He's talking about none of that stuff. Like he's now every day. Like my friends are, like, what is this? I'm like, nothing. Just ignore it. Like the things that he promised, he knew he couldn't do. He was literally, we said, a 5th grade election, student council election, where you talk about 2-hour recess and a month-long winter break.
A's for everybody, including the failing people.
No homework ever. Like that's what it was stuff he knew he couldn't do. Because look, every day he brings up some other crate. You just said the 3 or 4 he's done in the last week. Yeah. Like that have nothing to do with anything. And he can't do anything with Greenland. He can't do anything with Canada. Canada's as big as we are. He can't do anything with the Gulf of Mexico. Like he's just saying shit. And I get it. Look, a president, when they speak, we should listen. They're a fucking president. That's not him. Like he doesn't think of himself as a president. He thinks of himself.
Here's how we're going to diffuse inflation. Well, I mean, he's going to put the tariffs on everybody. So
he hasn't talked about the tariffs either. He hasn't talked about tariffs, economy, prices, or immigration in the last month and a half. No. Not mentioned it at all.
It's all nonsense.
It's all he talked about for from when Harris got into the running to the election. So 4 or 5 months, 3 or 4 months. All he talked about was prices and immigration and tariffs. He hasn't mentioned any of those words himself in like a month and a half.
Well, we have 11 days and it'll all change, Libby. And your opinion and mine will be influenced greatly to the point where we will be wearing red caps as if we were riding for Ogden Phipps.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? We'll have that cherry red cap with black kilt. All right, let's get into some stuff here. We have the Orange Bowl. Speaking of orange men, and wouldn't Trump be appropriate with that orange makeup to
he'd be Syracuse all day
on the Orange Bowl game tonight? Notre Dame, Penn State. A couple of fabled American institutions going after each other. The line has fluctuated a little bit. I've seen it go as high as 2 and a hook, and I don't know. Did it get down to 1 at any time? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what level of significance that would be, except to indicate we know the popularity of Notre Dame. Most experts seem to feel, Lubie, and this would be indicative of the fact that the point spread favors Notre Dame, but I'm surprised that not too many people are high on Penn State in this game. I don't know what your opinion is. You have interesting contrast. Notre Dame runs the football extremely well. Are they the number 1 rushing offense in the country? Something around that area?
They're up there. Yeah,
they're not number 1. They certainly are very effective. However, Lubie, and this is a giant H with the however. However, it's like that most famous word that you would ever write in any sports article, maybe any news article for that matter, the word but.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, how many stories do you read? And they have the lead sentence there, and it's very flowery and brilliant. And then the next paragraph, which is the next sentence in newspaper stories, usually
Yeah.
a giant BUT. But
Yep.
okay, so you have this kid Jeremiah Love. He's the leading rusher for Notre Dame. Possibility he doesn't play. What impact do you think that would have? And then Penn State, if they do a few things well. Their two losses were to what? Oregon and Ohio State. Is that not
Yes.
correct? Those were the two
Yes.
losses this year. So I mean, no, negative
Slouch, yeah.
connotations attached to that. Ohio State appears to be the best team in the country right now. Most people think that they're going to win it all, based on the last two games, as they've completely reversed fields from that ugliness that took place against Michigan. And last two games, dominant. I mean, if you saw any team perform like that in the beginning of the season, you would have said for sure, wow. I mean, these guys, they beat Tennessee like a drum. They're up 31-0 on Oregon. You would have to say easy concession. Number one team right now in the playoffs would be Ohio State.
Ohio State,
yeah, but Penn State, not being a quarter line, two losses to either the best team at the time in the country and maybe the best team in the country right now. I'm not at all, going to be dissuaded by the fact that the running game for Notre Dame, as exceptional as it is something that they're very good at stopping. I mean, they're great at the one thing that Notre Dame does so well.
Yeah. They would talk strength means strength. Love, from what I saw yesterday, is supposedly good to go.
Oh, okay, all right. So there goes that theory out the window.
No. I mean, look, it's like hockey. Like they're like, oh, it's my ear. When the Eagles are like. Just because a guy's out, it is the playoffs. As much as kids are tapping out of college, and we see Tyreek Hill just mysteriously leaving and missing a fourth quarter when he's making the most money for any receiver, and he's like top 5 money in the league. As much as
fans despise that, don't they? When a guy refuses to play, the Jimmy
like,
Butler, Tyreek Hill thing with the parallels that they both were just, hey, I ain't doing nothing.
Look, as much as that does exist in this athlete, it is the college playoff. It is the semis. So just because they say he's good to go, I'm sure Penn State, James Franklin, hit the fuck out of him. Whatever was rumored as his issue, I'm sure they're going to go after it. Look, it's strength meets strength. They always talk about this, especially in football. The problem is Notre Dame is on a now 12-game win streak, 13-game win streak. Like Penn State and Notre Dame hasn't played great teams, but they've been very consistent and dominant in almost every game. Penn State hasn't. They've had just as weak, if not a weaker schedule, and got through. But they weren't kicking teams' asses. Look, a lot of their quarterbacks look better. The offenses look better. But the Franklin winning the big game thing doesn't go away because they had the easiest path. If Ohio State had the toughest path, their path was easy. Like, didn't they play SMU and Boise? Like, they played the two teams that in any other year would not have been in the playoffs.
Right.
So, I mean,
you sound like you have a little golden domer lead.
It's the most I've ever leaned Notre Dame ever in my life.
Oh, wow.
They play good defense, and whatever you want to say about Leonard, he's the guy that makes.
I like the kid. I do.
He does. He just makes the play, and I don't winner. I hate the term winner guy because we see plenty of guys be winner guy and then lose by 30. But he's a tough, hard nosed dude. He doesn't get in the way. He makes the passes he needs to. He runs when he has to. I don't see them winning at all, but I see them beating Penn State. I don't know. Penn State, to me, I'm waiting for them to just fall apart offensively. Their offense.
Well, they do hit big plays though. They have a very high success ratio on passing the ball 20 plus yards.
Yeah, which is new for them.
It's a big play. So, I mean, is that not what it would take if you're going to have a rushing team going against a top tier? I'm not sure. I thought I saw this, that Penn State has the #1 rushing defense. Is that?
I know it's up there. That was the problem for.
Should have done a little more research, but the memory is foggy. I could swear I saw a graphic yesterday that said that Penn State has the #1 rushing defense, and Notre Dame may have the #1 rushing offense. So this is strength versus strength, Lubie.
Yes.
Breaks obviously going to make a big difference. My lasting impression about Riley Leonard will always be when he did like a Nat Moore helicopter play as he was jumping over a defender. No dive, no slide, and accomplishing by a narrow margin a key first down in Notre Dame's last game. So the guys, I mean, he appears to be like just a jolly, happy-go-lucky kid who's very, thoughtful and thankful that he's in the position he is. But at the same time, as you said, while he may look with the baby face like he's not going to be a tough guy, he runs tough as nails.
Yes.
He's more than willing to sacrifice any kind of physical well-being that he has to go ahead and get first downs. However, the alarming exclamation point would be he threw for 90 yards in his last game. Are you going to be able to run against the number one rushing defense if indeed that's the case? But certainly, I guess a top 5 rushing defense. Yeah. Are you going to be able to run the ball while your quarterback is going to throw for sub 100 in terms of passing yardage? That's questionable. So
no, they're going to have to open it up. I mean, they're going to
go ahead and make an ass of myself and pick Penn State.
You're like, look, they're here and they have a good defense. And Franklin has heard this they've now won 2 playoff games. So I guess in their mind, they could say they've won the big game in a way that he has struggled. He's like 1-11 or 1-12.
Yes.
Until that. So they can say that they've done that. And their quarterback is a better passing talent than Leonard. Like Leonard's a tough dude that runs and he can make a pass here and there. Alar was a top recruit. They threw him in young, and people forget that is a thing.
Is he not getting better also?
He is. No, the last 2 months he's been really good, but he's just a junior now. Like people do the thing where he sucks. Well, he was a sophomore. It's the Bryce Young thing. Like back in the day, freshman and sophomore didn't start in college, so like you should afford them a little bit of room. But we see so many freshmen and sophomores excel now that like when guys struggle, we just write them off. Alar is a better talent than Leonard, like he is. So, and Penn State has, you said, you're not wrong. Like for all the stuff they did last year when they lost 14-9 to Ohio State, like their offense is better. So there's nothing wrong with picking Penn State. I don't know. There's something about Notre Dame this time around where like they look, ever since a Northern Illinois game, they played really strong.
They look great.
Freeman's loosened up. And Freeman it looks like he's enjoying it. And the team looks like they're playing like a unit. And I don't see them beating the winner of the other game, but I could see them beating Penn State.
Oh, look, people are all over it. I was looking at a pool of experts.
Not yet.
5 out of 7 had picked Notre Dame to win. What was that? That was Dave Gurggles Gergely.
There, but we didn't call for him yet. So.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, we could bring him into this thing because he's got an opinion on football. He probably has some action on this thing.
I wasn't sure if he was ready.
Somehow, even though he lives nowhere near this building,
gloves on the Green Bay gloves.
Oh, he's Packer fan now. Yeah, very good.
No, it's just necessity. No.
It's like 40.
Where are you? I mean, are you in the offices there?
I'm in the office. The construction's coming along terrifically, and it's the guys are working hard. It's like 43 degrees, I think, here in Miami Lakes, or something. 48 degrees, something like that. But yeah.
Wow, unbelievable. I mean, I stepped outside, much to my surprise, after complaining about not getting my New York Post before 8 o'clock. I've called, I think, 37 straight days. I looked outside, in the usual futility, thinking, why am I even doing this? And there it was at 6:30 in the morning, sitting.
Beautiful.
You think? I'm not one of these people. I mean, it doesn't do any good to bitch out the woman who's in Bangkok taking your call about the fact that you delivered. People always want to, vent and scream at that particular. Well, if I don't get some, this woman doesn't care. She's taking call after call. Just here's another one. But maybe they did something. I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy about this, but I would have to say it was a lot easier to execute a bowel movement this morning.
Oh, God.
And I'm so well informed. I'm asking Lubie to check every fact. It's like I'm Mark Zuckerberg all of a sudden in reverse. All right, we're going to do the trivia challenge. How are you? And you, of course, enjoyed a trip to Green Bay. Green Bay seems to be up against it a little bit in this ball game that they're going to play in the opening round. Questions about Jordan Love's physical stature. And that would be of great significance, although we're still seeing the line stayed pretty much the same, did it not? Packers getting 4.5 from the Eagles, who also have questions. Well, that's where your allegiance is it not, Gergs?
That's my team. As a matter of fact, you go back 64 years, 65 years, and the Eagles are the only team to beat Vince Lombardi in the postseason.
Oh, wow.
I remember like yesterday, Jim Taylor getting tackled on the 8-yard line by Chuck Bednarik, wouldn't get up at Franklin Field, and the Eagles won their championship back in 1960. That will not be one of the questions though today. But tonight's game, I think of all the games so far in this playoff system, is the most intriguing. I think that there's a lot of sentiment for both sides.
Yep.
Yes, negative on my part. I mean, I hate both teams. Despise both programs, but again, I mean, I started to get a little bit of an affinity. I hate to even admit this because I don't know. I mean, I started to like Notre Dame a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird.
I was enjoying what the hell they were doing. I'm a fan of this Freeman guy. I mean, he's not necessarily my cup of tea. He's not a guy you're going to see hanging out at the bar at the track and going, "Hey, Gurggles, I put 20 on the 6 for you." That's not him, but does seem like a decent human being representing the very standards that Tony Segreto would say are vital to the proliferation and success of college sports.
The standard, and not even college, Notre Dame. Like if you look at Brian Kelly, always was bitter and salty. Lou Holtz, before, at least as a coach, after a coach, Lou Holtz became fun and whatever. But as a coach, he was always very gruff. Like the Notre Dame coaches have always been known. You talk about Eric Percy, they're always known as like he's not like he bullshits. He's with the kids a lot. He's a younger dude. He's a good looking dude. You know, like even Tyrone Willingham, because if you want to say the black thing, he was the same thing. Tyrone Willingham was very soft spoken, didn't talk a lot, carried a big stick. Like Freeman's not that. He does these interviews. He's bullshitting with the reporter. Like he's more affable. He's a very strong departure from what you've seen at Notre Dame. So even people like us are like hate Notre Dame. It's like, fuck, the guy's sort of, you know, it's hard to hate him. Like he's had struggles and he's fought through it and he hasn't whined about it and he hasn't blamed other people when they lost Northern Illinois last year. Didn't they lose to like Marshall or something? Like he takes it himself, and then they're always better after. He's a different coach, and it's annoying because you want to hate Notre Dame, but it makes it harder to hate Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, holy Paul Horning, we've converted Lubie to a Notre Dame fan. All right, but now Gurggles, what is your feeling being a Pennsylvanian about Penn State?
Well, if you remember when Paul Horning won the Heisman, they actually had a losing record that year. So I'm going to harken back and hope that it's more like Joe Paterno versus Jerry Faust ex of Moeller High. But actually, you're right in your analysis. It looks like Penn State's strength is also a strength defensively for Notre Dame. Penn State is a good passing team. Notre Dame has a pretty good secondary.
Yes.
Notre Dame's ground game should be pretty good too. So, you know, being that you guys both like Notre Dame.
Oh, no, I'm going with
Penn State.
200 on Penn State.
Defo likes Penn State. We're split.
I'm taking Penn State. I don't love them. You know, and as indicated by the narrow point spread, it's not like this game is looms as you know an easy pick. You know, because it's essentially inside of 2 points is somewhat of a pick 'em to me. So I don't know. I just think maybe Penn State will come through this time. I really do. They might have more success against the run than previous opponents in Notre Dame. Notre Dame's resume, as Lubie was pointing out, wasn't exactly dotted with all kinds of college football heavyweights, but they were winning by 30 points. So,
well, I mean, did it at Penn State? Who did they beat? Illinois. I mean, that's
no one.
Pretty much it.
Yeah,
pretty much it. All right. In fact, I'm not even going to watch this game.
Close your eyes.
Everybody loves Notre Dame. Gurggles and I are on Penn State in this thing, so we'll see what happens.
And and a degenerate Christmas miracle since I last saw you guys, and I may have shared this with you, but I got to share with the public too. I'm at the races at Gulfstream, and every Thursday I think you get a free. You put your ticket in, you get a free voucher, $10, $15. Well, one guy that sits next to me, retired police sergeant, great guy, always bets to win, had about 27 seconds in a row, gets a $100 voucher.
Oh,
and
shit.
I said, hey, bet it tomorrow. You're not doing well. No, I'm betting it today. I'm not betting a favorite. He goes and bets a race, shows me a ticket. He has 100 on the 7. The 7 wins by 2 lengths, and it paid $70 for 2.
Oh, shit.
God.
Merry freaking Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah. Needless to say, I enjoyed a nice Macallan. I drank about a half a bottle New Year's Eve and called everybody, including Richmond Webb, who said to say hello to you guys.
Oh, very nice. And now, did you see the horse Nando won the other day? I think that.
Yeah. We had him on the phone. We had him on speaker, and 2-1, a little chalky, but he did win.
They can
And
only
Nando
run
right
winning.
now is a hot walker up at Palm Meadows for a trainer.
That's so
That's
great.
what you were saying, yeah. Does the horse drink? I mean, you could make it a.
I don't know.
Those Bloody Marys.
He's becoming a horse whisperer, so look for good things in the future.
What is the
Nice.
purpose? Does anybody know? Mike Mayo might know. Well, of putting a garden in a Bloody Mary, where you have like a small palm tree in there.
Yes.
All this fucking shit. I mean, is the drink that bad? Because I've never been a fan of the Bloody Mary.
No,
Never.
no,
Me
I
neither.
don't enjoy
I'm
it.
not either.
Yeah,
Although I will say
I
a
think it might
nice
be one of the
word, Mike
worst
Mayo-
drinks. What's up?
Mike Mayo's brother's just a super guy that works at Gulfstream.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, Barrel.
Yeah, and he does a very valuable service to humanity in distributing the race. All right, we're going to take a short break here and come back with the game. So you can dial us up. What is the number on this thing?
It's right there.
954-417-0070.
Yeah,
It's right there on the screen in front of everybody.
I was trying to see. I was testing my memory here.
It's been a while.
It's already a blank
You
screen.
haven't given it out in a while. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So we'll come back. You can dial us up 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. If you want to play the trivia challenge for the Landlubbers gift certificate and the distinction of being a champion here on the Defo Show with Mike Louie Lubitz and Dave Gurggles Gergely. We will all be back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:27.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage.
We hand the ball to one Dave Gurggles Gergely.
It was the Thursday before Christmas, just a little before 8. No longer on radio, but this YouTube thing could be great. We're live with Lubie and Defo and their Hanukkah menorah, and me at the golf course with people yelling, Bora! While callers line up to use the phone line, just one, alas, the Hialeah Trivia Challenge still is great fun. The questions are all asked with great glee by Gurggles, the evil seed, who hope no one scores a total more than 3. With hopes that the show will draw folks from near and far, one thing is for sure, you certainly can't beat a Perdomo cigar. All the best to Leslie Visser from BC and the Duke who went to Harvard or Yale. We're proud to know 2 folks who we can call if we need bail. The guys each give their ideal gifts just for fun. For Defo, it's Luca Panici in a back wheel at 50-1. To Lubie, who works hard every single day, another trip with his wife Shirley to Hawaii so he can get a lay. Now it's time to end this tale and get on to the show. So let's hear from the red-suited man with his constant ho-ho-ho. On Ron, on Andy, on Pat, Mike, and Lenny the Chronic, whose many certificates make Alex Dufresne switch from coffee to doubles of gin and tonic. Merry Christmas from Defo, Lubie, and Gurggles to all of you all. And for the new year, Paulie Ban, our favorite, how about a little easy baseball?
That's brilliant, man.
That was amazing.
That might have been your best one.
That was great.
I know there have been others that we said the
love
same
that.
thing, because at
That
the
was so
time, right,
great.
you're only as good as your last film. But that was tremendous, Gurggles.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Pat Riley would say it's all about the game, my friends. It's all about the game, and we're about to get into it here. 954-417-0070. That was a slice of brilliance there out of the past by the archives of one Dave Gurggles Gergely, always spreading good holiday cheer.
Yeah, we do a holiday show, so
yes, and the Polyman doing very well. It sounds like anyway. Can you determine how a guy's doing from the tone of his texts?
No, I actually, by tradition, I called him New Year's Eve and spoke to him, and he sounded great. Also called the Marty girl. I don't know if you got the text from Marty. Marty sent me a text of a cute little girl near a tree, and you open it up, and a little girl says, "Merry Christmas, motherfucker." Typical Marty.
Very appropriate. Yes. All right, we're going to get into the game here, and Gurggles is going to fire off the question. So dial us up if you want to play. We're set to go, and in honor of the Polyman, who, as I've been able to decipher through his text, is doing very well. I would agree with you 1,000%. He sounds great. We will now begin in the traditional fashion with Dave Gurggles Gergely in for in the spot that the Polyman used to command, and he occupied, and some easy whatever. I mean, what do we got? Baseball.
Good call. Easy baseball.
I was trying to figure out where the fuck I was going with that. Going nowhere. And it's been that kind of morning so far for me, which it should be a good day. I don't know. I felt pretty good when I got into this, but really staggering around here.
Thank you, Professor Erwin Corey. Yeah. All right.
I didn't know this, Lubie, about Paul Mercurio. Did you know that he was in the movie Chuck that we saw? We were probably the only people that saw that movie.
Oh yeah, remember he actually
did movie about Chuck Wepner.
Yeah, he like a 5-second cameo.
Lubie and I get invited to a premiere of this thing, and so we go see it, and that was it. It never made it into the theaters.
By the way, I will give you a recommendation. I went to see A Complete Unknown, the Dylan movie. Really good.
It looks great.
Everybody says that. It looks great.
Chalamet looks great.
You can go to the Movie Co. Sheridan Paradise on 75 on Tuesdays for $6 and see it. So
shit! How much is the popcorn?
8.
Is there anything but like a janitor and a drum-sized popcorn anymore at movie theaters?
Oh, they do. They have small, medium. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very reasonable. Yep. Are
the smalls in the paper bag? Because I was never a big fan.
No, it's just one kernel, but that's okay.
It's one kernel for literally 30 cents less than the medium, 30 cents less than the large.
How about a little easy baseball?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ready.
All right. This pitcher, adding a footnote to history, said, when Neil Armstrong first set foot on the moon, he had all the space scientists were puzzled by an unidentified white object. I knew immediately what it was. That was a home run ball hit off me in 1933 by Jimmy Fox. What was that? Lefty Gomez, Garrett Gomez, Gomez Adams, or Adams?
All right, roll it, Lubie. The random scramble after being on hiatus for a while. Sounds good. Mike, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Let's go A.
Good morning, sir.
Have a rocket start in 2025.
All right, golf, Mike. True or false? John Daly II, who you may have seen in that father-son event, has a long way to go before he puts together a career even close to his father's. But as he attends Arkansas to play on the golf team, he did get an NIL deal with what company? None other than Hooters. True or false?
Oh, God.
True.
Makes perfect sense.
That's true.
It is true. That's the way of the world these days. The more infamous you become for something, the more likely you are to be able to cash in.
Exactly.
Yeah, they get millions of dollars for NIL, and I get Landy the office furniture guy who never gave me a check.
In order to give away the chairs, we're still in litigation.
No, that's true.
Fortunately, Lipschitz called me the other day, and he said, "You're in luck. You and Gurggles are off the hook because." And your name was mentioned, of course, only in legal documents, never any actual transaction that didn't take place. But he said the statute of limitations is up on the furniture. You don't have to bring. I don't have to bring those palm trees. Was that me
Right.
that had the palm trees I was giving away?
Too bad it's not up for them guys from Huddles that are still looking for us. Okay.
That was one of the hairier meetings I've ever had, and that includes various sessions with Eddie and Vito. I mean, which were never particularly flattering for Polyman and me. All right, here we go.
Points going for 5.
Yes.
NFL, the 1966 season saw the first NFL team score 70 points in a regular season game when the Redskins scored 70 points and defeated
Ooh.
the Eagles, the Cardinals, the Giants, or the Bears.
Bears.
The Bears. The Bears. No.
It was the Giants, actually. And the Giants, I think, had 40 in that game.
Couldn't
All
have
right,
possibly
you got 2
been Jim
points for
Dunn's beloved Bears. I going for 7 to set the pace here, Mike.
That'd be a strong pace.
All right, college football. Let's shift gears. The Orange Bowl has taken place in Miami every year since 1935. Which team broke an NCAA record for most points in a bowl game when they thrashed Clemson 70-33 in the 2012 edition? Is that FSU, Georgia, Michigan State, or West Virginia?
FSU.
No, it's West Virginia. That's the one. We were on the South Beach, Deef, and we did the goddamn rally. And Deef was like, this is the most awkward thing. Clemson and West Virginia fans in the middle of South Beach. They've never stepped foot here, and they'll never come back again.
That was the early stages of
No
South
points for Mike, but 5 for that Mike. Lubie. Well done, Lubie.
I thought, and I don't know if there's going to be one of your Orange Bowl questions later on, that you were going to ask who was the defensive back
Mike,
for
you're
the
making the
University
finals.
of Miami that returned an interception for a touchdown for the lone scorer in an Orange Bowl victory over Holy Cross.
Jockey agent Al Hudson.
100 points for Gurggles. Nice job, yeah. Hudsy boy.
I remember him. What a
one
good
of the
guy.
first guys I met down here when I was circulating around various racetracks trying to figure out what I was going to do in my life. All right. So Mike has 2 points, not enough to qualify for the finals. However, back to that.
I think he's got 5.
Did he hit the 3-point question? 2. No.
I think only 2. You're right. You're right, Luke.
He got the 3-pointer wrong.
He got a very difficult true-false question correct, and then
Right.
I got the next 2 wrong. All right. We don't need any more litigation. I mean, we just got out of this jackpot with Landy's office furniture.
Beautiful.
Okay. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. You mentioned earlier Perdomo cigars, Dave Gurggles Gergely, and I know you love to light them up. And so the guy that hit, I mean, imagine that you hit a $70 horse with a $100 free voucher. Who does that?
Yep.
That's
Could
awesome.
happen to a greater guy. And the kid,
he light one up right away.
was that kid Ruiz, who's riding pretty good there, Georgie Ruiz from Laurel. But anyway, you don't have to have a $70 horse to get a Perdomo cigar. All you need to do is go there, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto on the south side. Of course, we sell them here at Miami Lakes Golf Club, but right now we're not open to the general public, but the renovations are going to make this place look terrific. But Perdomo Cigars, 305-627-6700, the number to call. They're open right now, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You say, you know what, the holidays are over, but I just need a little enjoyment. Well, a Perdomo cigar will make that happen. So go there today, and Saturday, Sunday, you want a Perdomo cigar? They're not open because they're a family business, but go online, www.perdomocigars.com, to find this cigar tobacconist near you that sells these great cigars. And tomorrow morning or late tonight, after Penn State beats Notre Dame 30-24, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
Let's say 1917 somehow. Late safety giving the victory to Penn State. All right, we're ready to go. Next set of questions, Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Boxing. This former trainer and manager on The Shape of a Fighter once said, you know, some people say George Foreman is fit as a fiddle, but I think he looks more like a cello. What's that? Lou Duva, Lou Boudreau, Lou Costello, or Elvis Costello?
All right, rolling around the phone, the scrambler. And it lands on Ron. Ron, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
Again, correct. Off to a good start.
Hi, Ron. This is kind of a combination sports question. Believe it or not, former Saints quarterback Drew Brees describes himself as an avid pickleball player, fan, and student of the game. It must be true because he even created a pickleball festival to benefit his foundation called the Brees Dream Foundation. True or false?
Let's go true.
Sounds.
It is true. Believe it or not, that is true.
All these people love
Rick
pickleball.
Barry, a huge pickleball
Love
advocate, and already playing at 80 years old. He's beating like 20-year-olds. It's amazing. Rick Barry loves pickleball. All right, 2 for 2, Ron. Going for 5.
All right, Ron, NFL. Who was the third man born in the state of Massachusetts to be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame? The third man. Ed Healy, Wayne Milner, Al Davis, or Howie Long?
Howie Long.
Howie Long, incorrect.
He was the fourth. Al Davis was the third.
Oh, wow.
Well, who were the first two?
You know?
Ed Healy and Wayne Milner, the other two guys.
Oh, they were on the list. Okay.
That's funny. You did the top 4.
Where'd you come up with that one, Gergs?
Just hard work.
It was out of the
All right, that's your 5-point question.
All
right, Ron.
Up here, Ron.
Golf. This day in history, believe it or not, in 1962, Jack Nicklaus played his first professional golf tournament, the LA Open. How did he do? Was he second, 10th, tied for 50th, or missed the cut?
Wow.
Jesus.
First ever.
Missed the cut.
Missed the cut.
No, he tied for 50th.
50th. All right, well, I don't see you being in the finals round, but you may. Hold on. Hang on.
Another wipeout here.
Man, that was a 5-pointer.
Very good.
And Mike, I may not be there tonight, but I will be there the next week. And the week after that, is that it?
It's the next week, skip a week, and the week after that.
Got you. Okay, got it.
What happened, Lubie? You're leaving town? Talking about your...
we have that. We're doing the 1 week we're doing the show at the Food Fest, and then 2 weeks later, I'm going to be out of town.
Very nice. Lubie, a very busy man. He's got some kind of agenda here. All right, getting ready for our next set of questions. You can dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070. Nobody with a total worthy of being in the finals yet. And here's Dave, our next set.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Sports. This sports commentator, it's actually boxing too, on Joe Frazier attempting to sing the national anthem in tune said, I don't know, with Joe Frazier singing the national anthem, I made the national anthem a 6-point underdog. What's that? The late, great Jimmy the Greek Snyder, Duke of Earl, or Earl Weaver?
Yeah, I remember Joe. I think he did attempt to sing on that 1-hour interview I had where I had to use Marvis Frazier as an interpreter on WIOD. and it was like one of those things where, who was the guy? Mel Tillis?
Yeah.
Here was a guy that really couldn't complete, not even a sentence, couldn't complete like a phrase. And all of a sudden he starts singing and he was okay. It was pretty crazy. So I let him sing for the last half hour of the show.
I just do a concert.
People would have no idea what he was talking about. All right, Pat, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, Pat.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Good morning.
Right, nice job.
Well done, Pat. Golf, Pat, true or false? Believe it or not, Hall of Fame jockey Corey Nakatani is also an avid golfer with a single-digit handicap and 13 holes in one to his credit.
Wow.
True or false?
Jesus. What was he playing? A putt-putt?
13, huh?
13 holes
That's
in
a
one.
solid number, huh? I'll say it's 4.
It sounds a little far-fetched.
That's true.
That's true?
That's true. Yeah.
13
Plays at Hollywood Country
holes
Club,
in
Riviera
one?
Country Club. He's quite a
lot of
golfer.
fucking hole ones.
Scotty Scheffler probably has 6. I don't know.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
sounds like a lot.
That's a
All
lot.
right. First guy to whiff on that question, Pat. So he has one going for 4.
All right. College football, Pat. The Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas produced one of the lowest scoring bowl games ever when Oregon State won 3-0, shutting out Syracuse, Pitt, Penn, or Illinois.
Oh, Jesus.
Syracuse.
That's what I would say. No.
It was the University of Pitt Panthers, believe it or not.
Okay, here's your 5-pointer.
One going for 6. Put you on top. Easy to recover in this.
Have a good score.
You go from the bottom of the heap all the way to the first place position.
Let's go, Pat.
All right, Pat. Who was the first player in modern baseball history to hit 2 inside the park home runs in the same game?
Okay.
Al Kaline, Joe Morgan, Roberto Clemente, or Dick Allen?
Oh, God.
Two inside the park homers in the same game. Roberto Clemente.
I'd say Clemente or Morgan.
I'm going to go Allen.
Yes. The
Yes.
late, great Dick Allen of Wampum, Pennsylvania, off first
you're
by
not-
11 in Minnesota.
I appreciate it.
Very nice. All right, Pat really lays an egg there. Want to try and get one more in here, Lubie? 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. If you'd like to play the trivia challenge. Dave Gurggles Gergely, always happy to tout. I mean, I have to give you a horror story from the track in terms of tips from the jocks room. All right, so much talked about friend of mine, Francesco. I don't know if you ever actually met Francesco. He didn't really frequent Gulfstream as much as he did what is now known as the Pomp, the Harrah's Casino. All right, so he's always getting tips from Luca Panici. Luca Panici, they talk every day in Italian, and Luca will tell him, hey, I worked this horse or whatever at Palm Meadows, and looks like he can run. And invariably, the horses have lost. They've been just horrible selections, including one that we got the other day, a 1901 shot that looked like it was in pretty good position. I was thinking, geez, I'm sorry I stopped betting these Luca tips. Because here's one about to score like with relative ease at 19-1, and sure enough, the horse ended up last after looming up on the turn. There was in a nice position the whole way. So the very next day, Francesco has the nerve to call me and tell me that this didn't even come from Luca Panici; it came from Umberto Rispoli, the Italian jockey from California.
Yeah.
Who's been very, very good. He's been among the top jocks out there for several years now, and always makes a good account of himself. I don't know. He hasn't been necessarily as prominent. Do we see him in Breeders' Cup and Triple Crown races? Yeah, occasionally. I would say yes to that. Anyway, so he's not even in the state where this horse is running. He's got an outrageously, I mean, this is a can't-lose proposition at Turf Paradise in the 7th race. Rispoli. And, wow, I mean, may he get a cup of Spumoni shoved right up his ass after this pick. I mean, the horse gets bet down. First flash is 3-5, right? And then goes off like 9-5 or something like that in a 7-horse field. And never in play. I mean, just falls out of the gate on all 4 legs. But this was the slowest horse in the history of thoroughbred racing. Couldn't win the fucking 7th at Turf Paradise on a Tuesday afternoon. And so that was it. I mean, the worst touts at the track. What would you say? Are they trainers or jockeys, Gurggles?
I would say trainers.
Trainers are worse?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Pletcher will unveil some monster that they purchased for $4 million, and the horse has been working a hole in the wind in the morning, and you'll see him and go, hey, Todd, what about the 3? And I go, might have a chance. It's fucking Secretariat, Pletcher. Just say he's going to romp. And sure enough, it does. But jockey's probably the worst, huh? I would go with jockey. And that's no knock on our good friend Luca Panici. We love him. I mean, like it couldn't be a nicer guy, but Jesus, Luca. Stop calling Francesco. At what point do you tell a good friend of yours, Gurggles, to lose my number? He's been touting you on horses. All right, let's get into our final contestant here, and then we'll go to the finals. So one of the earlier knockout contenders, or they got knocked out, or should have, is going to be back in circulation.
Yes.
So here we go. Here's Dave.
All right, sports. This comedian, on participating in sports as a young kid, said, I used to play a lot of sports. Then I realized, hell, you can buy trophies. Was that Dimitri Martin, Dean Martin, Harvey Martin, or Martin Short?
All right, let's roll the random phone scrambler. And a perfect way to complete the field here in the competition on the first show from 2025. Lenny the Chronic, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Chronic.
How you doing, guys?
How you doing, guys? How are you?
I think you do a better Lenny than Lenny.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, that's great.
Happy New Year, fellas.
Same to you, and a healthy one. All right.
That's right.
We get a lot of requests for this new category. Pickleball, true or false? Pat Sajak, that's right, ex of Wheel of Fortune, absolutely loves pickleball. He believes in the sport so much that he recently became a partner in a Major League Pickleball team with his friend country western singer Bill Soren. True or false?
I will say true.
That's what I would say. No?
Bill Soren is the guy I hit the pick six with at Gulfstream about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. Well, he had the money then to buy a pickleball team.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, there are people investing, and wisely so. You go to the park now, you can roll out there and get a tennis court, which used to be impossible, as they say in French. And now, you can roll out there, play tennis all night, and then you roll by the pickleball courts, like 9 o'clock at night, jammed. They have like 25 of them at this park.
Yep.
Jammed, like hundreds of people waiting around like in the old days. I don't know if you had a park you wanted to play basketball. And you had to wait 6 games if you lost. So, you played your eyeballs out, you cheated, you did whatever you could. Because, you didn't want to come to the park and waste your time playing one game and then sitting for an hour and a half. That was, did you ever do that, Louie, where you had to go to the basket at the other end, and play with the guy with his kid?
Remember when we talked about, I tried to explain the idea of picking basketball to my wife, and she couldn't fathom just going to a court and assuming a game would be there. I'm like, what do you mean?
That's the way it works.
It is. Like, you go with a couple guys, but sometimes you don't have to, and you just join a team. Like, you just play with random people. Yeah, yes, it's pick up basketball. Yes, I remember very well. I did it my whole life, 100%. I never did it for tennis or freaking pickleball, but yes, these courts are nuts. This sport's all over.
You know who'd be great at pickleball? Gurggles. That is, I think, your game. Having badminton credentials like you do, and being somewhat of a trick shot artist in all of the sports you play. All right, where are we? True, false question.
3 point.
Yeah, you got 1 point going for 4.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's got 1 for 4.
Yes.
College football, Lenny. The Gator Bowl took place for the first time in Jacksonville, Florida in 1946. Which bowl first was created in this game in 1955? A, it was the first overtime bowl game. B, it was the first game to be abandoned due to crowd behavior. C, it was the first nationally televised bowl game. Or D, it was the first bowl game attended by a president of the United States.
Wow, good
I'm
question.
sorry, Greg. Can you repeat that? I was a little confused by the question.
What's Mickey Mouse, a dog or a cat? All right, no.
That was not the question.
All right, college football, Lenny. Listen closely. You don't get a second chance here.
Yes.
The Gator Bowl in 1955 was the first bowl game for which of the following? It was the first overtime bowl game. It was the first bowl game abandoned due to crowd behavior. It was the first nationally televised bowl game, or it was the first bowl game to be attended by a president of the United States.
Let's go with the president.
President.
Well,
Incorrect.
it was the first nationally televised bowl game in which Vandy beat Auburn 25-13.
Very exciting.
I was going to say,
I remember that. Yes.
All right, so
You have to roll back to get your light back on there, Gergs, or how does that work?
No, that's okay. We don't need it.
All right.
We like to keep Lenny in the dark anyway.
Well, you got a 5-pointer coming up.
Yeah, this
All right, 1993, this day in sports, Lenny, Michael Jordan scored his 20,000th point against
Ooh.
Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Boston, or Detroit.
I'm going to go with, let me think. Can you repeat the teams?
Philadelphia.
Who did you say?
Answers again.
Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Boston, Detroit.
Oh, good job.
Let's go with Detroit.
You want to repeat it again? It was Milwaukee.
All right,
How about Lubie on one of those Medicare cognizance tests where they ask you like an hour later to repeat something they said
Great
earlier?
memory.
Yeah. And you're
I don't know if he can still hear, but I had to say this. So the other day I was driving around and I'll put Dan Patrick on just to see who they're talking to and see what they're talking about.
Chronic?
And they're like, all right, the phones, Fort Lauderdale, Lenny. I'm like, oh God, what is Chronic going to do? So he did the thing where he's like 5'9", 300 pounds, and they do the ding. And then he's like, Dan, you hear about McCarthy to the Jets? And then Dan Patrick cuts him off. He's like, no, that's weird. And then he's like, oh, what about this Joy Taylor thing? And then he brings up some weird ass angle about Joy Taylor that's really like, there's no way Dan Patrick's talking about it. And then we haven't even talked about it yet here.
No.
And he literally like stumbled over himself and he's like, no, Lenny, we're not talking. No. He's like, I'd rather talk about McCarthy to the Jets than.
Joy Taylor, I'll never forget this. I was doing a show out of Hialeah Park with the world's most unscrupulous. Well, I can't put him in that category. somewhat unscrupulous salesman, the great Les Mayer. I'm hoping he's still around. And so we were taping like 3 half-hour television shows at once on any sports topics we could come up with, and it was airing on some 3-watt television station out of Key West that supposedly had national exposure. And this guy brings Joy Taylor out, who I had never met and didn't even realize was the sister, after being introduced to her, of Jason Taylor. And I think at the time, and I was impressed, she actually was very good at doing this, considering we had never done anything together before. And, and I'm thinking, how ridiculous is this? I mean, we're on the 3rd show already and sitting here for, an hour and a half trying to make 3 different television shows. Very impressive. And who would have thought from that humble beginning that she would have ended up not only at a very prominent position there at Fox Sports, but now, I mean, the lead face of this scandal, Lubie. Social media.
I didn't hear it. What happened?
You haven't heard about it at all. It's funny because with all the Butler, the Dolphins nonsense, and then the playoffs, we haven't talked about it at all, even though it's a local story. Okay, so it came out, and we have the finals, by the way. It'll be
good. Okay.
On. It came out over the week. Was it Sunday? Like it was like leading into Monday, I think, that there's this lawsuit from this hairdresser against, I guess, Skip. Is it Fox? I guess it's the Fox directly.
Skip Bayless and
but Skip
the
Bayless
network, sure,
was like trying to proposition her and would pay her like $1.5 million to have sex with her, and she was saying no, and he wouldn't stop. And then in the guts of it, an offshoot of that was these allegations against Joy Taylor that from day one she slept her way to the top. And like gave very specific, because she became friendly with Joy Taylor, very specific details that, like, while she was a newlywed, just sort of doing spot stuff, moved to LA. Because remember, she only did not only she did radio, she was a side person to Zaz. Like, she wasn't the main person on that show. It was like, exactly. It was a sports talk show where she was a side person. She had no TV experience. Then suddenly she's like on fucking FS1. And then suddenly she's on Coward. And like every year she'd get a promotion. So it was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like she's a good looking woman and she is good at broadcasting. Like she knows what she's doing.
There's nothing in there of hers having slept with Lenny.
No, nothing with Lenny.
No.
Lenny. But allegations that she like slept with the president of like programming for Fox, and that's why she got on with Coward, and then kept sleeping with him, and that's why she got that show she was doing with Skip and Chin and Sharp, and then that's why she started messing with Emmanuel Acho, and because remember she now does this other show where she's the main person, and she actually gets to talk a lot, like very strong, detailed allegations about, of all people, Joy Taylor. So it's been like a big hubbub all week.
Oh man,
I have this recurring dream that I'm on an episode of the Kardashians. I'm about to sleep with one of the Kardashians, and out from behind the curtain comes Bruce Jenner,
who was a guest on the Trivia Challenge.
I remember. Yes, he was calling from Disney World. I remember
he was
that.
Great. Yeah, he was a mystery guest.
Oh my God.
Disney World. All right, let's do the finals here. We'll make our exit. We do have Mike and Ron. It's been decided are going to be in the finals here by default.
They're the only ones that had 2.
It doesn't matter if you backed into the postseason; you still are in there with a shot. So Gurggles going to fire off the question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody does that. We'll offer multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first chance, and we go back and forth until we have a winner. Here for the championship of today's edition of the Trivia Challenge, one Dave Gurggles Gergely.
And this kind of relates to what we asked Lenny, but the bonus question is, we want to know who was the first U.S. president, sitting U.S. president, to attend a college bowl game.
All right. Here are the choices.
Was it Dwight D. Eisenhower, JFK, Gerald Ford, or Richard Nixon?
Wow.
Mike,
who was it?
Eisenhower.
Yeah, if it's a 50,
Mike.
it's not.
He would have been the furthest one back. All right. That's eliminated. 3 left for Ron.
Was it JFK, Gerald Ford, or Nixon?
Nixon.
Nixon. Tricky Dick. No. 2 left for Mike.
Was it JFK or Gerald Ford?
JFK.
Yes, he did the coin toss at the '63 Orange Bowl between Oklahoma and Alabama.
Good
I thought it was
job.
a trick
done.
question that it was going to be Gerald Ford because he played for Michigan in a bowl game.
Good job, Mike. Good job.
Excellent job, Gurggles. Where do we find you? Anything going on? Golf tournaments?
No, we're just setting up. We're just going full blast with the course. It's coming along great. I will be substituting for Mike in 2 weeks out at Landlubbers, my favorite place.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'll make it there because last week we scored, I think, a record high points.
Yes, you did. You
really
were not helpful at all.
in my team winning by more than 30 or something.
You're fucking killing.
I'm not showing up tonight.
Excellent. All right, you're on your game as always. Dave Gurggles Gergely, thank you so much, and we will see you next time, my friend. Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. All right, good session there of the trivia challenge. Kind of interesting stuff. A lot of bowl related material coming from Dave Gurggles Gergely. We do have the game tonight, the Orange Bowl game. Very exciting. I mean, there was nothing. I don't know that it could ever be topped. Lubie, the electricity that was in that old Orange Bowl stadium. The January 1st of that would be 1984, right? It was the 83 season. Hurricanes, Nebraska. And wow, I mean, I attended many games there over the years, and people still say, and I don't agree with them one bit. You know my opinion about the Orange Bowl was a dump. So I mean, the whole idea, well, we've never been the same. We should have the Orange Bowl.
You stuck with the Orange Bowl. Like I don't know why people do that. The last
it wouldn't be standing anymore. I mean, the thing was on the verge of collapse.
The last handful of years to decade, they were horrendous in the Orange Bowl. Like that's.
Yes.
It's not. If you want to do the Dolphins stuff, fine. The Dolphins haven't been the same. Okay, fine.
What a shithole to go to. It was hard to get to, as is the case now with Marlins Park.
Like you don't want to be creaking.
Imagine these games, these Marlin games, which nobody's that interested in to begin with, start at like 6:50. Which, if you were coming from Broward County, which was always a big concern when they were deciding, where's the best stadium location? Well, the best stadium location was the place where the ball club could fleece the municipality for free land.
Yes.
I mean, so that's where it was going to be. It was not going to be in like central Broward County, so people from Dade, people from Palm Beach,
easy to get to, exactly.
The picture. But then, to drive from where I am here, Broward County, about midway. Between the north and south border, I guess. Forget about it, man. You're not getting there at 6 o'clock.
No.
Well, you can go at 3 and go to the New River. And what? Swim there? What the fuck are you talking about? But the Orange Bowl. I mean, was how could it not have been condemned years before? Joe Robbie decided to build a stadium with his own dime. Unbelievable. Nobody does that.
I don't know. Look, it was fun when the teams were good and the crowd was there. It was loud.
Oh my God, it shook. It was
ferocious. But it was scary. Like
like a Colombian soccer stadium.
I felt like it was going to collapse. Like, and everyone
loved the structure. It's balsa wood.
You heard creaking.
It did look like an erector set, the old erector set. If you were underneath the Orange Bowl, which you had to go underneath there to go on the field.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up at this shit. I'm thinking, who the fuck built this? How did they ever? What architectural school could you have graduated from if you had ever seen the infrastructure of the Orange Bowl Stadium? It was crazy. It looked like one of those, shelters that they built on Naked and Afraid. That's kind
they just threw it together overnight.
Oh my God! All right, Lubie, we'll get out of here later on today. Even Keel Fish Shack. How good was that happy hour yesterday? Taverna.
That's what's interesting is everything was a happy hour item, and
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I mean, you go to happy hours, and they usually have, 4 or 5 items, something like that, and a decent variety, but it's standard shit.
Yeah.
These guys had all kinds of stuff there, $7-8. It was pretty amazing. Yeah. I mean, I was full from the happy hour food. And
yes. And the drinks, too. There was all happy hour items.
Wow. Yeah, the drinks were like $8, too, weren't they?
They were nice ice drinks. I couldn't finish because there was a good amount of alcohol in those drinks.
Yeah.
But not the standard juice. Like, you're like, oh... Okay, is the vodka in here, or was it just wafted?
Everything very well prepared, also. So that's for you Boca-ites or anybody that's schlepping back and forth through Boca Raton. Definitely check that out. 3 to 6, Taverna Kima. Can't say enough good things about the place. All right, we will see you later on from the Even Keel Fish Shack, 1:30 post time for the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Show. And for Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. Thanks for tuning in. For Dave Gurggles Gergely as well. We will see you next time as we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:06.
Let's go to eat a damn snack. Look what they done.